Welcome back, everyone, to the Blues feed. We are here to preview Chelsea battering a shite Man United side, give our opinion on how we think it will go, review what they're doing currently and how terrible their average possession, which you'll see in a minute, our predicted lineups, what we would like to happen, and our predictions. So appreciate the views and coming over. Just to remind you guys, the 1K subscriber giveaway is still ongoing. We're getting closer and closer to that goal. Pop a comment down below to enter and drop a subscribe to get us closer to the goal. And we will send one of you lucky guys a Chelsea shirt of your choice. To jump into it, let's have a look at the terrible Man United side. They obviously got battered 3-0 by City at the weekend. And I don't know if you watched it, Luke, but it could have been 6.
Oh yeah, and the
They were
rest.
awful.
Yeah, and if anyone's watching and you can see the screen right now, it sort of sums it up, really, doesn't it? There is gaps everywhere. There is so many different areas to exploit, and there isn't really one concerning factor. If you look at the lineup on the left compared to the average positions on the right, how are Mbuemo and Diallo playing on opposite flanks, yet they're occupying the
Stood next to
exact
each
same
other.
space? Then you've got the left centre back and the centre back are about 30 to 40 yards apart, but yet the
And then
centre back,
Delict and Euro are
yeah,
touching hands. They're
it's
holding
just
hands.
it's just crazy. So I mean, it doesn't take a genius to say what I'm about to say, but let's exploit behind Shaw, find
Yeah.
the gaps, let Estevao pick up the pockets, maybe that little bit in the centre of the park where there is nobody to be seen, get
Yeah.
Cole Palmer in them spaces, and realistically, this should be a
We'll
simple
just
game.
just go either side of the Congo they've got in the middle of Ugarte, Bruno Fernandes, and
Do you
Sesko, and you got loads of room.
Do you know what it looks like? It looks like Fernandez, Sesko, Diallo, and Mbuemo are playing Connect Four.
They do, they do. It's awful, but
Uh,
obviously that shows some of the average possession. But I mean, like watching the game against City, anytime they got pressed, they looked rushed. Their keeper looked nervous. Their defenders gave the ball away. In transition, there was so much space. Anytime City nicked the ball off them, they created a chance. Anytime they attacked quickly, they created opportunities. So I think if we're aggressive, if we're quick in the way we attack and we press them high, we're going to exploit them. And then it comes down to if we can finish our dinner. I mean, they did create a couple of chances against City, so we will have to be still defensively sound. They're not that bad going forward, but they're so exposed defensively that I'd be half tempted to kind of play like a sit in and counter attack a bit like City did against them because they had more possession than City.
yeah,
Um,
I think you will see a lot of us doing that, frustrating sometimes, passing around the middle of the pitch waiting for opportunities, because the more we keep the ball and the deeper we see it, the more they're going to come out of possession, out of position, like that shows, and then bang, one ball in behind, you'll get through them. And do you remember
mhm.
the actually? Do you remember the Spurs game that you and I went to with Sai in
Yeah,
April, where we utilised a long ball quite frequently to get in behind because we knew there were spaces there? It wouldn't surprise me if we revert to something like that, where we keep the ball, then go long, get in
yeah.
behind them, rush them back where they really don't feel comfortable, and hit them that way. But I think this
We
is
did it
definitely a
a
game.
bit yesterday as well, because like to get rid of Bayern's press. So yeah, I agree with you.
It's definitely a game to get the creative players on the pitch, as we're going to speak about in a minute. But look at the holes, look at the areas that can be picked up by our creative players. It's
I mean,
just
just looking at it here, like you imagine like Palmer just picking up that space between Ugarte and Luke Shaw, while also having like someone like Estevao pinning Luke Shaw out wide as well, because Dorgu just bombs forward all the time. Um, and then you could have like the switch ball in behind Mazwari to Garnacho, and you're just going to create so much space. Like if you get 3 or 4 attackers from our side running at them, you're just going to have so many opportunities to score goals.
yeah,
Because none of,
exactly.
to be honest, apart from the first goal where Doku sold Shaw for dinner and then passed it into Haaland, the other 2 goals were they were very just like run at them straight ball goal. There was nothing like there's no intricate play that City needed to do or wear them down or break them down. They were just on the break. They were so chaotic and bad defensively that's how you expose them. Because you've got Bruno Fernandes, for as good of a player he is, he's not a DM. And like Ugarte is just not Premier League level. So that centre of the midfield is just appalling. And if they change it and they go for Casemiro, even better because he's so slow that
Yeah.
you could just expose him from his like
The thing is,
physicality
it's
weaknesses.
not the players, is it? It's the system, and we know
Yeah.
for a fact that Amorim isn't going to change that. So,
Oh,
but
100%.
we're setting ourselves up here for a bit of a downfall, to be honest, because we've not beaten United away for about 13 years or something ridiculous, and
Well, let me put a
it's
promise
probably
to
our
you there,
best
Luke.
chance.
Yeah, I completely agree. And let me give you a promise. There'll be about a 15-minute rant from me next week if we don't beat Man United. If we lose to Man United, it might just be me because you won't get a word in edgeways.
Can you save it for the week after when I'm on holiday?
Well, mate, I'll still be fuming about it then. So I could do a second video.
Um,
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the formation and the system. He's gone out on his sword at the start by saying, "I'm a system player. I'm going to play the way I am," because Ten Hag reverted away from the way he wanted to play to fit Man United, and now he's so arrogant and stubborn that he doesn't feel like he can go back on it. Because I mean, I saw a link, and it was rubbish in the end, but I saw a link with like Iriola to Man United, and I really rate Iriola, but you imagine like in a 4-2-3-1, if you had something like Luke Shaw, Delict, Yoro, Maswari or Dallo, then like a pivot of like Mainu and Ugarte or Mainu and Casemiro. You'd have Bruno in the 10 and Buemo on the right, Cunha on the left, and Sesko up front. Or you could put Cunha up front and then put Dallo into the one of the wide spots. Like that's a very decent side, but he just exposes himself. I mean, my old
I
man
think he
went
wants to
to
get sacked. I genuinely think he
yeah.
wants to get
He
sacked.
could do. Yeah, he could do. He's probably realised
I
he
feel
ain't
like,
good enough and he wants
yeah,
the
I feel
money.
like he's realised that. And do you know what? It's made me realise that I'm so glad that we didn't go after him.
Hmm.
So
But I mean, my
anyway,
old man went to the Sporting game when he was in Portugal last year, and he said if Amorim comes to the Premier League, the spaces in behind the fullbacks and in the midfield are going to get massively exposed because they don't get pressed, they don't get countered very highly in Portugal because they're the best side. And he was absolutely spot on because
yeah,
that's exactly what happens. But yeah, I mean, as you said, best is the best chance we have to beat them in the last 13 years. And we just have to go and do it. I don't care how we do it. I don't care if we scum a 1-0 win and we look awful. We just have to beat them. Well, we
yeah,
should
great.
be going out and dominating them and win 3-4-0. But
I'll remind you of
or
that on Monday. We can
eh,
scum a 1-0 win and you'll be happy.
mate, we just need to beat Man United. We needed to beat Brentford last week when we didn't play particularly well. We didn't, and if we don't play that well against Man United and we get a win, I'll be fairly happy because you look at somebody like Liverpool. They've won every single one of their games in the last minute of the game. They did it again last night without playing particularly well. Spurs have done it a few times as well, and we need to get into the habit of doing that.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a habit.
Um,
It's the sign and a habit of a winning team, isn't it? So
Absolutely. But yeah, to go on to the match predictions and the predicted lineup for the guys who will be listening on and not viewing, we've basically agreed on the predicted lineup and we have agreed on the wanted lineup. On the predicted, we've got Sanchez in goal, James at right back, Trev, Tosin, and Cucurella at the back, Caicedo and Enzo in midfield, Estevao and Palmer behind João Pedro. With I think he'll go for Garnacho because I think Neto needs a rest, and also it's an extra motivation for Garnacho, and I think he'll be absolutely chomping at the bit to play. But you think he'll go for Neto? Um, Anything you want to add on the predicted before we talk about the wanted?
no, I just think he'll go for Neto just for continuity and the fact that he can rest him next week when we've got Lincoln. Like you'll see in a sec, that's not necessarily what I want, but I just think that's
Mhm.
that's what Maresca will do.
Yeah, yeah, I hear it, and I wouldn't be massively surprised. I just think Garnacho's been like building up, playing a little bit, playing a little bit. He's now been training solidly with Maresca for like 4 weeks, including the international break. I think he's probably ready for a start, and I don't think Neto did himself any favors for a start at the playing off the left, and I think Estevao will start. So that's why. On the wanted, we've got Sanchez, James, Josh Achimpong, Tosin Cucurella. So Josh in for Trev. which for me is just down to Trev's not been that good, and I don't think Josh is a step down at all. And while our centre backs don't look great, let's give our best prospect centre back a go. We've got Caicedo and Santos in the middle. Give Enzo Fernandez a bit of a rest, and I thought Santos was very impressive as he came off the bench against Bayern Munich. Estevao, Palmer, and Garnacho, as we just discussed, we wanted Garnacho instead of Neto, and then Pedro up top. I mean, anything to add on what I've just said?
No, I just think looking back to the positional graph that we've been staring at for 5 minutes, you just think of the players on that pitch and the areas of the pitch they can get into and the space they can find. Even the likes of Andre Santos, like you saw the ball he played for Parma last night for the disallowed goal, like just the amount of creativity, but also the legs we can get into this team is so important. And I think that is the way we win this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Santos is a bit more solid defensively than Enzo Fernandez, and has more legs. So if it does become a bit of a ping pong match because we're trying to play on the counter, I think that will benefit that element of the game as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And the thing is,
like
we
you said,
just have to.
Josh needs to
One
play
thing
more.
that we need to do as well is we just need to test the goalkeeper because he's terrible. I don't think I've ever known a side to have three such terrible goalkeepers. Because even
Yeah,
the one they've signed looks shit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Another Caicedo banger incoming, maybe. Not we've predicted that, but I'm just thinking it as we're speaking.
Yeah, you'd love to see it, man.
He just scores bangers, doesn't he? Halfway line, absolute rockets from outside the box. And to be honest, it's not particularly surprising because every time you see a training video and it's all about that shooting game where you're shooting from the edge of the box, Caicedo's always in the final.
Yeah, he's got bangers, man.
Anything else you want to speak about on the lineup?
No, I just think it's time to see Josh start a couple of games in a row, and with Lincoln away next week, which he's almost guaranteed to start. I think it'll be a good idea to start him in a couple of consecutive games, give him some real minutes, let us see him properly play and get a little bit of a run in the side, whilst our defence isn't quite performing to the level that we hope they would.
I agree, and also not in that central centre back position which he played in when everyone was injured, which will probably mean he'll look a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. So to go on to our predicted scores, we've actually gone same score. We're being a bit boring. We're agreeing with each other again after our little bit of a disagreement on the Bayern Munich game. So we've gone 3-1 each. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a clean sheet, but I just always feel like we've got an individual mistake in us after the Bayern Munich game. It kind of made me a bit scared. So I've gone 3-1. I've gone Palmer, Pedro, and Estevao. I just think the spaces for Palmer, the transition goal for Pedro, and just Estevao. It's coming. He's going to get his goal. And then man of the match, I've gone Palmer. He loves big games. He loves scoring against Man United, so that's why I've gone for that. And then Luke, you've gone 3-1. Garnacho for the absolute vibes. Pedro and a Cucurella goal. And then Estevao for man of the match. I mean, anything you want to add to your predictions there?
No, I just think the game speaks for itself for Estevao. I think he can find so many different spaces and pockets to create, and I think that's what he'll be doing predominantly. Obviously, I'd love to see him score, but I think he'll just create so much. And I have a slight inkling that Palmer may not play after the way the camera panned to him at the end of the game last night. So I've gone a little bit cautious as to Palmer. I've done my predictions excluding Palmer, is what I'm trying to say, because I feel like there's a chance that he doesn't feature. So
I disagree. I think they'll just play him and then give him the whole of next week off.
I hope you're right, but yeah, I thought it'd be a little bit different. Yeah, I think Estevao can just control and create. I'd love to see Garnacho score, like you say, because the vibes. João Pedro.
Just sat on the Man United advertising board like he does in front of the Stratford end.
Yeah, it'd be so.
And then maybe just a little kiss of the badge just to piss him off.
Yeah.
And get Mark Goldbridge crying on Twitter.
And then Cuckoo's due a goal, man. He hasn't scored for a little while, and he always bats.
Keeps getting good opportunities as well. I mean, he even had one against in the Bayern game where I thought he could have scored. So, yeah, a Cuckoo goal is coming. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Cuckoo scores the go-ahead goal, the first goal. He loves a big game goal when we need a goal. So yeah, I don't hate that at all. Maybe I'll go 4-1 and add Cuckoo goal in there as well, just for the vibes.
Throw forward to Monday. 1-0 Man United.
Yeah, 1-0 Man
Ces-
United with a
Cesco
terrible.
90+3.
Yeah, 90+3 from like a Sanchez blunder where he just passed him the ball because we haven't had one of them yet this
Tell you
season.
one thing, we didn't actually talk about Sanchez on the Bayern Munich review, but he was very good. I
He was
must
very
say,
good.
I'm the first to criticise him,
Hmm.
but I must say he was very good in that game.
He was, and that's kind of why I said a blunder inbound, because he's done what he's needed to do, and he's actually made some really good saves that he didn't have the right to save. So both of those things mean that there's an absolute brain fart incoming.
Yep, I hope you're wrong, but you're probably bang on.
So yeah, cool. Well, yeah, I mean that's the end of the preview. Thank you everybody for listening. If you drop your predictions down below, predict if there's somebody you want to see start or somebody dropped, what your score is going to be, and you can be on the next review video. We can discuss if you're right or wrong, and we will catch you all next time. Peace.